Why did you agree to do this concert?
It seemed like it'd be fun, and then obviously it was. And also, it's such a random place to play. It was our first show, and we thought that was pretty much as cool as a first show could ever get, is to be that.
And it was presented in an exciting way.
Yeah, definitely.
We were eager to play, so we would have played at Walmart.
It definitely initially seemed, I don't know, it just seemed like a really nice thing to do. I think it seemed like, like the way you presented it as well, like, you know, it was obviously for someone who's going through a pretty tough time, and based off of our own temperaments and our own separate levels of neuroticism, we fully understand, you know, what that means going through a bad time, you know what I mean? So you empathize with that, and you want to, if you've been through situations yourself that are hard mentally, you empathize with someone who is struggling with something either just as bad or worse. Like, you get it, and of course you're going to try to help ease that pain on somebody if you can.
Yeah. Why do you play music?
Great outlet for obsessing and being compulsive. Healthy outlet.
Definitely.
And a therapeutic outlet.
It's a way to express yourself, do you think?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel like most people who are into that sort of stuff are definitely in some capacity, like, they have something. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
Like, I feel like it's what attracts you to it. Although when you get into, like, we were really pretty young when we got into it, so that wasn't what it, we weren't, you're obviously not aware of that at first when you're doing it as like a lesson thing, you know what I mean? Because when you're doing these lessons, you're like, this will be a great outlet for me when I'm like a neurotic adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
You're just there for some reason, and then you're just taking lessons.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine not having it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like always have had it around. Even before I played, it was like around. Like my friends and their cousins would play.
It's so weird because it like, with stuff like that, it's like there's like so, you have to put in so many years before you can even have it be an outlet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
like
have
it's
to learn it first.
Exactly. So it's not like it's instantly therapy. In fact, at the beginning, it's probably the opposite. It angers you if you. It's infuriating sometimes, which is the opposite of what you want from something. If you're trying to deal with things in a healthy way, but like it, yeah, you just. I don't know. I guess the people who do use it for that are just lucky enough to at some point been able to get that time beforehand out of the way. But there is also a therapeutic side to learning something.
Yeah.
Because it's repetition.
Yeah, like that's what I do is the therapeutic parts of leisure.
Yeah.
So that's why this concert was like so exciting. It was like the biggest leisure session to like do with Sebastian.
Do you think it had a positive impact overall?
Yeah, I think it did, definitely. Not only for like him, but also for his family. Just to like know that there are people like willing to do stuff like that for him, and for like also everyone else at the hospital who was around. For that to happen was really exciting because it's so mundane, like at the hospital all the time.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a turning point. I feel like the staff and stuff have changed since it's happened too. I feel like there's a bit more respect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow, interesting.
Okay. So, who are you guys?
Play the guitar. John. Hello.
Good thing you raised your hand.
Just to make sure.
This is Johnny Crank. He plays guitar, but he does a lot of other things. And then I'm
Movements.
Tim, and I play guitar and sing.
And a lot of other things.
And And then Bug's in the room, but he's a silent, mysterious one, so he doesn't say much.
Yeah.
You might hear his drums every now and then.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That means yes.
Yeah.
You see him right now, he looks like a cute, cuddly teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
But you open up his shirt and you realize he's a porcupine.
Yeah. Yeah.
A cute, cuddly porcupine.
Yeah. Just a goblin in the darkness. Alright, another question. What do you think about the phrase, change is good?
Yeah, it's a perfect phrase. Everything's always changing. It's good to change with it.
Change is growth.
Yeah.
Growth is positive. Imagine if those trees didn't change, they wouldn't be growing.
Mm-hmm.
They'd just be staying there the same way. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Yeah.
And if you apply it there,
unnatural almost.
It's against nature's wishes to not change.
Yeah.
But change is hard.
Yeah. Change is hard. It's a lot of work. It's natural, but it's uncomfortable.
Mm.
Growing pains. Growing hurts. It's painful.
It does.
It's painful. I would imagine the trees are in a bit of pain. They'd probably say.
They're so slowly growing.
Yeah, they're getting so indefinitely getting larger. Like it's like just stop. Like, can you imagine if you just kept growing?
Forever.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like your 12-year-old self right now. It'd be kind of fucked. Like your beliefs would be highly outdated, and the way you feel about other people would be inaccurate.
Yeah.
So you change is just, it has to happen.
Yeah.
For sure. And like I find with change, a big one is perception, because like you're just always being exposed to new parts and experiences of life.
Mm-hmm.
So like as you change, you're actually gaining, like always.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I have a few more questions from Julie.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did it feel like knowing a whole wing of the hospital was listening?
I don't think we knew until after. Yeah, we didn't know, but it's exciting to hear. It's cool.
Every time we stopped playing, pretty much in between songs, you could hear someone screaming off in the distance.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that the whole time. Like I was thinking about this person screaming. Yeah. It put things in perspective.
Right.
Because you're like, this person's yelling in agony, and I'm just like playing some songs that I wrote. Like it's like, so I guess we didn't really think about it.
Right.
I definitely didn't feel nervous.
Surreal.
No.
Yeah, I was excited, definitely. Like, it's really nice that people were listening, and that hopefully they liked it, and
yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. What does it feel like to know even people that have been greatly challenged to engage with people stopped what they were doing and were listening? It's like, I find working with that, it's surreal to meet people and just know you and I are just the same.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing different is your health.
Yeah.
You know? Like everyone's awareness is just like you're existing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely.
in very different situations.
Yeah. That's that's really nice. That means a lot, and especially because it's us doing the music stuff. I guess it's coming from our own place of like internal struggle or whatever, good or bad. Like if it even gets someone's attention, that's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's like it's powerful to connect with someone like non-verbally. Like it is through music, which is like words, but you're not just like having a conversation. You're having a conversation like through the music.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, well, a large part of really bad mental illness is a certain level of like probably, I feel like repression, and music is just like, those things that some people probably repress and become depressed over. It's just like you yelling it out, and it's like the opposite of holding shit inside of you. So it prevents you from perhaps like losing your mind in a certain sense by doing it, and people will, I guess, connect with that.
For sure. So, why do you think this genre of music that you guys play is calming, not conventionally calming music.
Yeah.
Like working with him, it's like I can sense when anxiety is high,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll go put on intense music, like rock music, whatever. And then he'll just like snap back into reality, kind of.
Well, it takes you out of your, like, if you really listen to music and really love it, then it's like escape,
Yeah.
like anything else, but a healthy one.
It's like, you know, the classic, like, pinch me, I must be dreaming or whatever. Like, have you ever done that? Have you ever been, like, feeling super anxious and you do something like that?
Mhm,
Like,
yeah.
snap yourself out of it?
Yeah.
Like, I guess loud and abrasive music would snap you out of it. First, in some cases, like, if you're about to, like, you know, if you're feeling super anxious, like, I was feeling it last night, randomly. I was feeling super anxious tonight. And I just, like, literally just, like, I made like a loud sound or something and like just like sort of like shook my head and just like took me out of it. Sometimes you need to be snapped out of things, and it gives you a calmness. I felt really calm after it. Like it's just like
well, it makes you force you to be more present. If you're listening to music, you're pretty present in that moment.
Yeah.
If you're listening to it and enjoying it.
For sure. I find like if someone has an interest or like a knowledge of music, you get even more like release from listening to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this kind of goes actually with what I was just saying, but it's just an expansion. So if you have any thoughts on it. So what I just asked you was, why do you think it's calming? Or why do you think it allows a reflection and an agreement of what's going on in their mind? So it's like, if you are going through like mental health crisis and you have intrusive thoughts, why do you think music, which is intense, why do you think intense thoughts go with intense music?
Well, if you have a lot of intrusive thoughts, music can take you away from those intrusive thoughts too. Even, you know, even if they are aggressive, intrusive thoughts, if you're into aggressive music, just listening to, you know, whatever genre it is, it just happens to be aggressive, that will take you away from that intrusive thought, at least momentarily, and it'll help it.
and I mean, lyrics are just intrusive thoughts written down. That's all it is. So no, like I said, not everyone even really listens to lyrics or connects with them necessarily, but I guess if you hear someone else like saying these kind of like personal things that maybe some people would be ashamed of admitting that they thought about or felt, like, I don't know, I guess it just makes it feel like okay. Because the whole thing behind intrusive thoughts is the anxiety and the grief they cause you, because sometimes it could be the total opposite of how you feel. Your brain is just poking at you, and repressing that is only, it just makes you feel miserable and like a wreck. And if you just like get it out, if you just get it out, it's gone. That's it. It's out of you. And if there's aspects of that in a song or in music, then I mean, I've definitely heard songs before and like lyrics jump out at me and I'm just like, holy shit, like that's how I feel. And then you're no longer ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, that's the biggest, I feel like that's probably the biggest problem with any mental illness stuff, is the like shame that is around it. Like if you're mentally unwell.
It's like, it's scary to think about it. Like she's saying, it's like it allows you to reflect.
Yeah.
So because someone else is saying it, you can actually like face the facts. It's like, oh my god, like I thought this, they thought this, that's fine. Reflection, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Pair Sisters song. Like it's not an intrusive thought, but the song "I'm Me," it's like such a good song, such good lyrics, and it's just about being stuck with being yourself, basically. And I'm like, the lyric is "I'm me, and me is all I'll ever be." You know, I remember listening to that song a lot and feeling okay about myself then more, because it's just like this musician that I look up to just went through something similar and arrived at that conclusion, and it just makes you feel okay. And you start to grow. And the thing that was stopping you from growing was just like being afraid of yourself.
So it's like the music is allowing you to reflect, allowing you to grow. Full circle.
There we go. We tied it off
Wow.
with a nice little loop.